Dr. Kenny Anthony says no country goes to the IMF unless it is in trouble. The opposition leader says regardless of the facility under which IMF money is borrowed, there must be conditions. He is demanding the Prime Minister make the terms public. The SLP leader says although Prime Minister King led the public to believe there were no conditions, a BBC report on Monday has since proven otherwise.
The Prime Minister has said that there are no conditions, but there is a story from the BBC this morning, and I just want to quote the last paragraph of that story. It says that IMF Deputy Managing Director Murilo Portugal said part of the government's fiscal program for 2009-2010 was to improve tax collection and prioritize spending while also controlling costs.
Press officer to the Prime Minister, Winston Springer, says the funds will be used to mitigate the adverse effects of the global financial crisis on St. Lucia. On Tuesday, he disclosed the terms of the loan, which he describes as highly concessionary.
The ESF is not a structural adjustment facility and has very little conditionality attached. The terms of the loan are highly concessionary, with an annual interest rate of 0.5%, semi-annual payments, a 5.5-year grace period, and full payments in 10 years.
The opposition leader believes government's decision to approach the Washington-based organization tells of the current state of St. Lucia's economy. According to the IMF, unemployment is set to rise sharply, and gross domestic product is expected to fall by as much as 2.5% this year. Dr. Anthony says the outlook for the island's economy is bleak.
When you read the statement of St. Lucia, the basis for the IMF agreeing to provide this facility is not only the deterioration in economic circumstances, but according to the language of the IMF, unemployment is set to rise sharply, which is a point that we have made repeatedly in the last couple of months. And if unemployment is set to rise sharply, then it must mean that the outlook in the immediate future is exceedingly bleak for St. Lucia.
Already, the $10.7 million have been earmarked for various programs. $7 million EC dollars will be used by the St. Lucia Development Bank to assist small businesses. But Dr. Anthony has questions he wants answered. Chief among those is why the government felt compelled to approach the fund and what other alternatives were pursued. St. Lucia is now the third OECS country to borrow from the fund. Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines received funding earlier this year. Alison Kentish, HTS News, Channel 4.